Welcome to the Rattling the Brand podcast, episode 7. Today we are here with U Sports goaltender Franky Lapenna. Franky's the U Sports East All Rookie Team player. He was the All-Star player for the first team, also the OUA East Goaltender of the Year, and the OUA East Rookie of the Year. Franky, thank you for your time. Thank you for being here.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for having me.
All right, so we'll start off with just an opening question here. I always like to ask this one kind of as an opener. Where did your love for the sport of hockey kind of come from? Is it like a big hockey family you grew up in, or?
Really not. My dad must have started playing when he was 12 years old. My mom never played. My sisters don't play. I'm really the only one in the family who played hockey at a higher level. I started skating when I was about 5 years old. Mom took me on the ice for some free skating and taught me how to skate. But she didn't know how to skate either, so not the best skater when I started. But since then, I love the game, and I was one of those kids who was just always on the ice. So.
Love it. Kind of starting off like with your career in the Q. You were there for about 7 seasons. What did your time playing there kind of teach you about yourself as a goaltender?
Well, I found out what it is to live in different cities. I played on 4 teams in my 4 years in the Q. I played a lot of games, learned a lot of lessons, met a lot of great people, and the Q is a great league because you play a lot of games, you develop your game at every level, and at the same time, you're learning how to live on your own. And yeah.
So for me, I was like a young kind of guy trying to play like junior hockey, and all of a sudden I was going to TMU regardless, but I kind of went to like a free skate there, and they kind of had some goaltending options fall through, and I was kind of like given like an opportunity to be the third goalie there, which is really sick for a whole year. How did you get to U Ottawa? Like, was there like a recruitment process? Did you have like scouts coming out to games? How did that kind of fall into place?
So basically, how it works when you're in the CHL or the Q, the O, the Dub, whatever, you're playing in your 20 year. The teams get a list of all the 20-year-olds that are going to become admissible for U Sports at the end of the year.
Mhm.
So I talked about like 14, 15 schools that year, and then I was playing in Charlottetown, and I got traded to Gatineau. So Gatineau's right next to Ottawa, and the day I got traded to Gatineau, I was actually on a visit with U Ottawa. So I got traded to Gatineau during my visit with U Ottawa, and then I liked my visit a lot. I liked their staff, I liked the feel of the school and the team and the place. And at the same time, I was living like right across the river in Gatineau playing junior, so I got to like the area. So I was like, why not? Everything seemed right to me, and I signed there, and the rest is history.
Was there any players there that you played with previously, or was it kind of just like a little bit of a whole new
Uh,
experience?
I knew one or two players that I played like summer hockey with when I was a kid and stuff like that, but really nothing of really like close personal friends or people I knew. A lot of guys I played against, but that's what university hockey is. You get complete strangers, put them together for a year, and now we're really, really close.
So obviously, like on a personal level, it was a great year, lots of accolades, lots of awards. But how would you overall describe your experience, your first year playing university hockey at Ottawa? Like, what was that kind of experience like?
It was awesome. Our staff was great. Our team was great. I think we had a great season, and that was a good step up from what the team did last year. It's good that we had a good season before our hosting year coming up this year. The biggest thing with youth sports is managing hockey in school. When you're
Mhm.
playing junior, you're a athlete student. You're a student athlete. So that's the way I kind of see it now. I have 5 classes. I work. I play for the team. It's just a busy schedule. So I just try and do everything I can on time, and then when I come on the ice, it's just kind of like the sweet relief. Your brain's empty and you just play.
So, like on a mental standpoint, like you got lots of classes, you got games and that kind of stuff. But like, what would you say is like one strategy you kind of use to mentally stay locked in? Obviously, you got like your projects, your exams, and you got to worry about your performance on the ice. What would you say is like a key point to making sure like your head is clear and you're ready to go for the games?
Well, I'm a big guy who likes to get things done right away. I have a million lists, a million calendars. I cross off a bunch of things. Everything's written down, every single date for the whole semester, all the time. So I feel like when I keep myself in check and I do things right away, like for example, I had an elective in the first semester that had a term paper due in December 30th. But it was on any one of the readings, and I did it in September. I did it in the first week of school. So I just try and get like things out of the way fast so then when it comes time to play, I just have nothing to think about.
hmm Love it. So in terms of like staying in shape, keeping your body ready, obviously goaltending, a lot goes into it, a lot that you got to do off the ice. But what would you say you is the most important thing that you do to make sure you're ready to perform at a high level?
I think it's just knowing yourself, knowing what you need in season, taking care of the body maintenance, working out even though you're busy, and just we spend so much time on our screens and like computers doing school and stuff that like the eye work's a big stuff. Like for me, do a lot of eye exercises. I have blue light glasses. I try to just take care of my vision because or else at the end of the day, you're doing school for 5, 6 hours and then you can't see. It's not great to go on the ice and try and make some saves. So
Makes sense. Was there like kind of like a point in your career where you kind of realized that you like had the potential to play like a higher level of hockey after, high school? Like that's kind of when like things get into like a position where you're like, either I'm done playing hockey or I'm gonna keep going. Was there kind of like a time where you realized that like you had the talent to keep going, you had the talent to play U sports and take it into your education?
yeah, I kind of realized that when I was playing midget AAA, and
Mhm.
I for the first time like I was like, oh, okay, this is a league where like QMJHL scouts are like guys are drafted, and then when I got drafted, I was like, yeah, okay, it looks like I could play in the Q. Then I made the Q my rookie year at 17, and I was like, all right, this is cool. It's cool. And then I just had some great years in the Q. So that led to two development camps in Toronto and Anaheim. And then after that, that didn't work out. I went to camp, I learned a lot, and then just bringing the knowledge with me here in U Sports, going to get my degree, and then hopefully play pro somewhere one day. But for me now is about kind of taking care of my sort of safety net, getting my degree done, and then just playing for as long as I can and having that in my back pocket. So
So yeah, it's obviously really important making sure like kind of realizing like your skills and all that. And it's one of those things where like wherever you play, it's like you always want to be the best at it. So for you, when you were playing, when you got drafted, you playing up there, what was that experience like, playing against like the highest level, like the best of the best? Did it kind of teach you anything about your game or where you want to be in the future?
well, it's fun. You always want to play against the best people. That's how you improve. If you're not challenged, you're in the wrong place. So I think the more like adversity, the more challenge you go through, that's how you get better. And like obviously I had a very good year this year and I'm happy with my year, but it's also good sometimes to get those slaps in the face saying, oh, there's always room to improve. And you don't want to be slapped in the face, but sometimes it's like a nice kick in the butt, as I say, to just keep working and making sure like there's always something you can improve.
Is there anybody in your life like you want to give a quick shout out to that has helped you get to where you are today, like a goalie coach? I know you mentioned your mom would take you to free skates and all that, but can you think of anybody who's like really helped
Uh,
where you
for
are?
sure, my family, my parents. I'm pretty lucky. My family's at every home game here in Ottawa. They do the drives every 2 hours. It's a 2 hour drive. They're here all the time. I get great support from my sisters. Like I said, my parents, my friends and family always reach out to me after games, and it's my big support net. And when you feel that support when you play, there's not much to think about just except for playing, and you know that play good or bad, they support you. So that's makes it way easier on the mental side.
Awesome. So mentally, like in a game where things kind of aren't going your way and it's a tough one, shots are going in. How do you mentally keep yourself and your head in the game and try and stay composed to get your team a win?
Anyone who really knows me knows I really don't worry about much.
Mhm.
My brain when I play is kind of like empty. I'm singing songs, just like
Love it.
a big jukebox. So like my kind of attitude is like it is what it is, and I'm just kind of in my own world,
Mhm.
and that works for me.
So kind of leading up to a game, we'll give you like a scenario here. You guys got a home game against, let's just go home game against TMU, 7 o'clock. What's your day kind of look like to prepare for the game? Are you like a superstitious kind of guy? And how do you prepare for
Okay,
the game?
is this in the winter or snow or no snow?
Let's go in the winter.
Okay, in the winter, I'll wake up, make some breakfast. I'll go on a walk with my roommates. I live with three guys on the team. We go on like a group walk. If
Mhm.
it was the summer, we play basketball. We play little games of 21 and force at the
Nice.
park near our house. Just kind of get the legs moving, gets us outside. Then the winner of the 21 game in the like nice weather runs a stretch after the team, like a
Mhm.
little 4 man stretch. And in the winter, sometimes we play longest snowball. Like we heave a snowball, the guy was just the furthest gets to run the stretch, or just sometimes to walk and you do your own thing. Then you come back, cook again. I'm a short napper, so I'll like nap like 30 minutes. And then I'll just usually rip the office or like stuff like that. Just watch things that turns my brain off, makes me laugh. I'm a strict no school on game day guy, so that's why I said I get all my shit done in advance, kind of get it out of the way so that on game day I'm just loafing and just marinating and chilling and getting ready to go. And then when I'm done eating and done napping, I get the tunes on, and most of the time I'll walk to the rink and just get in that killer mentality and get ready to play.
Sounds like a pretty relaxed game day, and like not too much, just kind of like getting ready
I
for.
I really, I'm really not like most goalies. Like I'll play soccer with the guys before the game.
Yeah.
I'll be cracking jokes or like anything. I'm really outgoing like
Mhm.
creature on on game day. I'm not like the type of guy that you can't touch me or talk to me or like move my
Yeah.
pads. Like, oh, whatever, it's fine.
Oh,
Things gonna work.
there's definitely guys like that who like don't talk to them, don't touch them, don't say a word.
No,
Same
no,
superstition.
no.
I
I'm
do.
very social. I'll talk with the refs. I'll talk to the other team. I'll mess around. It's my way of like staying loose, staying calm.
Like it. So against TMU in that one game, I was up at the press box for that one. One thing that I really saw, and my teammates even were commenting on it too, the guys who weren't playing, is your puck playing. Like just so smooth, so calm, you know. Obviously, it's something you practice all the time. I've seen so many goalies do it, but yours kind of stood out. Is that something you've spent years perfecting? And how do you really
Oh
like,
yeah.
how do you really get good at that like that?
Well, it was a running joke with me and my teammates this year. Every time we lined up on the blue line for the anthem, whoever was next to me, I looked at him and I said, "I'm gonna score today." That's when we started laughing, and so I had a few assists this year. I came close to scoring in Concordia, which was fun. Missed by like half an inch.
Oh,
Couldn't believe it. I was pissed. Anyway, but I had a synthetic rink in my backyard growing up. My dad built with boards and a netting, and I would just shoot pucks in my goalie glove and gear. And when I was a kid, I used to have like one practice a week. It was just stick handling. So I would do like toe drags and like goalie gear and stuff like that. So it's a very creative, spontaneous way of stick handling and playing. But I find it's part of my game, just playing fun, playing loose, and I'll do some funky things sometimes.
I also wanted to ask this one is like obviously you catch right, which is, you know, not very common among goalies these days. Where did that like start from? Are you like a left-handed thrower? Like was that
Oh
just
yeah, left-handed everything.
left-handed
So
everything?
left-handed rider, thrower. Well, golf I'm a righty, but
Mhm.
like golf, hockey I'm a righty, but everything else I do with my left hand. I'm left-hand dominant. So strange.
I like it. So the one thing that like I always want to talk about here is like a kind of a confidence kind of thing. So what
Mm.
piece of advice could you give to like a young goaltender looking to improve their game and their confidence?
I think my confidence comes from the work I put in. Like even Joe Burrow said that. I'm gonna give you a little Joe Burrow quote, but like he doesn't win the games on Sunday. On Sunday, he wins them on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So when you put the reps in, when you put the work in, that just makes you feel prepared, which brings the confidence. And then when you're confident, your abilities just own out, and that's it.
I love it. Did you have any goaltenders you kind of idolized growing up? Was there a certain goalie or a certain player who you kind of try to model your game after or grew up idolizing?
As a kid, I loved Ryan Miller. I don't know
Mhm.
why. He was
Nice.
great. I just loved Ryan Miller, and even though he was a USA guy, sometimes I would cheer for Team USA, and they would go and he was on the run. I don't know why I loved him, but I do. He had a great career. Now I think the more I grow up, the more I realize I'm like kind of like a flurry, like fast, athletic, kind of sees plays well, but also just always smiling and has that like simple, relaxed, goofy pregame mentality.
Mhm.
So I think on a personality standpoint, definitely on the flurry side. And yeah,
I like it. So you're 6 feet tall listed. I don't know if that's true, but you're listed at 6 feet
yeah,
tall. Definitely not a short goalie, but like, you know, compared to the average NHL goalie, compared to the average guy, you know, in U sports, you know, 6'3", 6'4" is very common. Playing at such a high level your whole life, has that kind of affected you, or is it something you've kind of, you know, learned to play with? Do you ever feel like a smaller goalie in the net, or is that something you just combat all the time?
my whole career I've been on the smaller side. Like when I got drafted in the queue, I was like started my year at 5'5",
Mhm.
and I would do my queue interviews, and like usually they ask you like where you're from, what you do, whatever. And one of my interviews was, how tall's your mom? How tall's your dad? How tall's your dog? Like just trying to dig it in. And I was kind of a late grower. So I went from 5'5" to 5'9" and 5'9" to 6 foot within 2 years. So it kind of like was a weird surprise, but I was a good kid, ate my vegetables, deserved to grow.
There you
But
go.
there you go. But no, like the NHL is obviously built on bigger guys right now. It's like as teams have the philosophies like, oh, I can draft a big guy and teach him everything else. I can't draft a small guy and teach him to be bigger.
Yeah.
But it has its advantages being smaller. You're more mobile, you're faster, you're more precise. And honestly, I think the smaller guys just have a little bit of a harder path to the NHL because they believe in drafting these mutants, like these big six foot
Yeah.
five, 6 foot 6 creatures and teaching them the ways. But you can see that the small guys still have their place in the NHL, like the Saroses, the Swaymans, the Shesterkins, the Bobrovskis. They're all just, and those guys are amongst all the best in the NHL. So
Love it. So, what would you kind of say is like your end goal with hockey? Obviously, it's a bit of a loaded question, but where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you want to be? Where do you hope to take hockey?
in 2 years, I'll be done my degree here. And then, contingent on the seasons I have, the opportunities will or will not present themselves. And then I'm just going to go from there. It's obviously every guy's dream to play in the NHL, but you have to be realistic too. As a guy who's in U Sports right now, sometimes like you have to do the Logan Thompson way and go through the coast and through VA and dominate and hope to break that barrier one day. Or even if it's playing in Europe or whatever, I believe I will play pro one day, and it's just a matter of time and me taking care of business here first.
Mhm.
But I have to obviously keep performing and put the work in.
Last one for you here. What would you say is one thing that you try to do to separate yourself from other goaltenders you compete against?
I think it's the all about me mentality. When you go into that place, you have to feel like you're the best player in the room. You're the best player on the ice. You have to just, even if it's not true, even if there's has been many times when there's been better players than me, but you have to just go in that with that dog mentality that when you're at your best, you can't be beat, and then you focus on the little details that make you play your best. It's not about focusing on results, but really, okay, when I'm good, this is what I do. It's these are the things that make me good. So then you hone in on those skills, on those mental cues, and that's what I find helps me.
Nice. Before we cut it off here, I just have one more actually for you. Do you
Sure.
remember the moment that you found out that you were the OUA Rookie of the Year, OUA Goaltender of the Year? And what was that kind of moment like and how'd that feel?
It was great. Honestly, the guys played well in front of me all year, and it just felt nice to be rewarded for a good season. It's like kind of like well, I put in a lot of work. I put in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. So it was nice to get that little pat on the back. But for me, we have bigger goals. We're hosting next year, and I want to be a winner. That's all it comes down to, and this other stuff is all kind of a bonus.
Very nice. You guys are hosting the U Cup next year?
Yeah, we are.
Oh, very nice. Gotta come check that out. That should be fun.
Yeah, it'd be great. Yeah, it would be
Yeah, it's
great. You guys did a
interesting.
good job hosting too.
Yeah, we hosted this year. It's kind of interesting. Like we always knew no matter what, we'd be playing like after, we beat Brock, we got there, but we always knew like the season was never over until like the U Cup. So it was kind of like a little bit of preparation where we're like, it's like a very long season. So it was definitely cool hosting, definitely a cool environment having all those teams there and stuff.
No, for sure.
Like
For
playing at the
sure.
Madden be sick too, right? Like just such
Yeah, it is nice. I think we played on a weekday against you guys, so like it really wasn't full, but I can only imagine when there's more people.
It was funny because my buddy who I did an interview with in like episode 4, Dylan Baker, he was the commentator for TMU, and his first game was against U Ottawa. So he sent me all these clips of him talking, and you were a net making saves. So it was like perfect. I used those clips, combat them.
That's
Worked out
awesome.
perfectly. Worked out perfectly. All right, man. I think we're pretty much good here. Thank you guys for watching. Rattling the Brain, episode 7 with Franky Lapella. Frankie, appreciate your time. And yeah, good luck with
Yep.
next season. And yeah, we'll definitely stay
Awesome.
in touch and see how things go.
Awesome. Have a good day, man. Thanks
All right,
for
man.
having me.
Appreciate it.
Ciao.